Hi folks, John Montgomery from Benson Alfa Romeo and Fiat in Greer, South Carolina. There's my card if you need to reach me online at bensonalfa.com or bensonfiat.com. Well, we've got a brand new 2021 Stelvio. It's a beautiful car. It's got the paddle shifters, it's got the ice interior, red calipers, metallic black paint, just a beautiful car. But I want to go through some things. So we've talked before about cleaning battery posts on these cars. This is a brand new car. I want to show you kind of how to do it. And I know we've sort of gone through this before, but this one has a spare tire in it. If you notice, there's a spare tire right there. I've already taken it out. This is the bracket that they use to mount it. And this is a little spinner hub they use to hold that down. Remember, your spare tire does not come inflated. It's deflated, so it fits in the compartment. So we're going to go through the battery situation here and make sure that our battery posts are clean. If you notice, there is negative on this side and positive on this side with the cover. If you have a dead battery and cannot get into your car, what you can do is put the seats down, because there's of course a lever here for your seat, and there's also a lever in front of the bolster by the knee in the front on both sides, and you can crawl back through there, pop off this little cap right here, and there's a cable in there. You just push that cable and that'll allow you to open the hatch, because remember, this is an electrically actuated hatch. Okay, so that's how to get into the battery compartment if you need to. Okay, so let's get started. So we got a gel cell battery. It is the same on both Giulia and Stelvio, although the Giulia has the battery compartment on the right hand side passenger to the right of the trunk. So first thing we need to do to clean this up, let's go ahead and pop this little clip right here. We push it and pull this right back off. Should come off. There we go. So it's got a little capture right here, and this is what it looks like on the inside. That's a little swivel clamp that they use. All right, and then you've got the intelligent battery sensor right here. This is what determines the state of charging your battery. So if it goes below 70% charge, it's going to light off a stop-start system failure where it will not allow you to do it. So you get that A in the circle on the dashboard, and that's a telltale sign that maybe your battery's not charging the way it needs to be. So the first thing we're going to do here is take this 10mm nut off, and I've got my little 10mm quarter drive socket. Go counterclockwise, loosen this up, takes a few seconds, and lift it off. You see that corrosion down in there? See a little bit of rust? And you look on the side of the battery post, you're going to see a little bit of corrosion going on. It's not too bad, but we're going to go ahead and clean this off and make sure it's good. Let's look on this side. I'm going to push these two little tabs here to pop up this little cover. Set that aside. Let's go down in here, and you can see not a whole lot of corrosion on here. There's a little gray patina, and then but look at that nut right there. That's corroded, and we may find some more corrosion inside. So that's a cad plated nut. During the transportation process across the ocean, this car is in the ocean about 600 to 1,000 hours, depending on what destination in the U.S. So it has a lot of salt air exposure, and because these are electrified posts, they can pick up some moisture and salt air, and that's what starts the electrolysis process. They use an aluminum band clamp over here and a lead post and a cad nut. So you got three different dissimilar metals going on. So let's go ahead and take this up first. Now that we've got the negative ground off, it's safe to work on this side, on the positive side. So I've got a little electric screwdriver. I'm going to go ahead and back these two little screws off about 3/4 of the way. Don't have to take them all the way out. Okay, counterclockwise, take them out. You can use a number 2 Phillips screwdriver if you like. All right, let's take our socket again, counterclockwise. Back off this nut 3 or 4 turns to get it nice and loose. Okay. Then we're going to kind of wiggle this whole plate off of here. You have to kind of jiggle it gently. There you go, it comes right off. All right, I'm going to make sure these are clean in here. This is not too bad, but you still got a little gray going on, and you got this corrosion right here. So let's go ahead and clean this off. We'll set this back here, and we're going to get our little post cleaner. You can get it at any auto parts store for about $2. Right here, I'm going to clean this off, do a few times around, get a few Sometimes around here. Get cleaned off. Now let's do this receiver right here. I'm gonna kind of set the phone down so you can kind of see what I'm doing. I'll go in here and take my little battery tool. You can buy these at Harbor Freight for about $4. Get it nice and clean. Let's go ahead and get this post clean too. Make sure this doesn't have any kind of patina on it. Okay. Now we can take our wire brush, kind of go over here. Let's go to the post itself. Make sure we get the bottom cleaned off. Make sure everything's clean. Let's go to this side. Positive side. Make sure we get that all clean. Alright, let's go on this capture right here. I'm going to try to set the phone down again for you. I'm sorry. Doing this by hand here. Alright, so we're going to clean this off. Take our post cleaner. So you got to ask yourself, why are we doing this? We're doing this to prevent a check engine light, a stop-start malfunction, a non-start event where you come out to your car and it won't fire, or typically a false flag report of a problem with a component. If you run a component, if it's ISO 9000 and you have weak continuity or low voltage, it's going to light off a check engine light. There's not a thing wrong with it, but the computer says that it is. Now we're going to take a little bit of this battery protective gel right here. We're going to put a little dab on the top of the positive and put a little dab right here on this connector. And we're going to do the negative side as well and the capture for that negative side. So we're going to go ahead and put our finger and just kind of put that gel around here and put the gel right up here. Make sure you get the underside real good. Get that right there. All that surface area. Okay. Let's go to our negative over here. Put that gel down. Get it spread around real good. Notice my little dot of gel right here. Put that on that capture. Turn it upside down, work it in with your fingers. Make sure it's nice and coated up. And let's coat up this little post right here. That's what we have left. Okay, now the next thing we want to do is we want to hook up our positive first. So remember, negative always stays off until you're finally ready to connect, okay? So negative off first, then your positive, then positive back on, then negative. Okay, so I'm going to land this right here. You can see these little red tabs. It goes down to these little holes right here. So we're going to just land this on top of the battery, line up these little connections right here, put it all down, and see how that fits down just so. Push this little red tab in. Let's go ahead and take our electric screwdriver and run these screws in. Nice to have one. I'm a little lazy some days. Okay, nice and tight there. Let's go and take our 10mm, change it over to the tightening, and we're going to go clockwise this time. And we're going to spin this to the right. Get it nice and firm. Okay, nice and tight there. Now, put our cover back on. So we're all done here. Okay, cover back on, snap down. Let's go ahead and do our negative side. Go ahead and put this piece on first. That's your negative. That's the intelligent battery sensor. Make sure it's seated real good. Take your 10mm, again, clockwise this time. Tighten it up. Nice and snug. Okay. Then we're going to take this connector right here, pop it on, and listen for it to snap. Hear that snap? Now she's locked in, okay? Nice and tight, everything's good. This is your emergency fuel door release, by the way, if you ever need that. Okay, so now that we've got everything done in here, now we have to go through the start procedure. But I do want to show you one thing that's very important. In case you go through this and maybe your car still won't start, you may possibly have a faulty starter relay. And I just happen to have a brand new starter relay right here. These are very inexpensive. You can get them from Alfa, of course. This is one that is one I've taken apart. I want to show you what can happen. If you look very closely, you're going to see underneath this little blue capacitor, you see what looks like a little ballpoint eraser on a pencil. Eraser, and that is the contactor that draws in to allow the car to start, to give energy to the starter. So what can happen is, if you have low voltage, this little solenoid won't pull in, and therefore the starter won't turn. So this is a culprit as a result of low voltage or weak battery. So it's very, very important. Now, you might ask yourself, well, what if I'm out in the middle of nowhere and I can't get one? Well, there's the Delco part number right there. That is a direct compatible. It's black in color. You can see it in the bag here. But these are well under $10. But you can buy this at any auto parts store in America. So I hope you'll take note of that number and pick one up and stick it in the glove box if you like. Now let me show you where this relay goes before we start the car and go through the start protocols. Okay, so we're all done in here for the right now. We'll go ahead and lower this. We'll put the spare back in after we get done with this procedure. Close it up. Okay. Now, let's show you where this starter relay goes. Inside the car, in the engine compartment in the Stelvio, you'll see the jump off points if you ever had to jump the car off. Here's the negative, here's the positive. There are some vehicles that have the positive post right up here on the firewall near the the front cowl assembly. This is where the starter relay lives, down inside of here. You have to pop this cover off on both sides and take this apart so you can get to it. And this is just a little plug-in relay. So when you change it, you pull that out. Make sure you pull it out with the right orientation, and it goes back with the exact same orientation. So on the Giulia models, it's actually down below the headlight bucket. And of course, this is not a Giulia, but there's a little compartment, looks like a pack of cigarettes. It's a little black lid on it. You take that off, and then you're going to see inside two of these side by side. The one closest to the engine is the starter relay. The one on the outside is the AC relay. And so you can switch them if you had to, like if you had no relay and no way to fix that in the middle of the night or whatever, you can switch them, and so that may get you going. But this little relay is under $10. It's very easy to get, so next time you're at an Alfa dealer, you might want to pick one up. Stick it in the glove compartment for good measure. Okay, so let's go ahead and close the hood here. And remember, when we go to do this start procedure to clear all of the codes, since we disconnected the battery, we're going to have to push this down by hand. So I'm just going to go ahead and put it down by hand. You see, it's not going to open because I don't have the the reference on it right now, because the car has been the car's been disconnected. So I'm going to go ahead and close this, and let's go to the car, go through our start and stop procedure in order to get the car codes cleared. We don't have a code reader. We're not going to use a code reader. Let's go ahead and put our foot on the brake and start the car. Okay. We're going to get a whole bunch of check engine lights. It may run a little rough too when you first start it up, but don't worry about that. Everything's good. You see where we're getting all kinds of codes, all kinds of systems are showing that they need to be recalibrated. Don't be afraid of it. Let's go ahead and put our seatbelt on, and we're going to put this car in drive, and I'm going to show you how to clear these codes without a code reader. All right, let's go ahead and put the car in drive. Okay, you notice we still have the codes on, and we're starting out. We're just going to take a little spin around the parking lot here. There's two important things that you need to do here. The first one is coming up. We want to do a full right hand lock turn all the way to the stop. That's going to reset the steering angle sensor all the way to the stop. Now come around, do a left full lock turn all the way to the stop. Okay, do that. Doing this while driving resets the camera as well, so it's important to do that. Okay, let's pull up to a stop here. You notice we still have a bunch of check engine lights on and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and turn the car off. We'll put it in park. Okay, turn it off. All right. Put foot on the brake, back on again. All the systems are operating properly, and because they are, you have no codes. All codes are cleared. You didn't need a reader, didn't need a service call, didn't need anything. Let's put it in drive again. Okay. We'll run a few hundred yards here or whatever. Just take a little spin. You can do this in your neighborhood or wherever you're at. All right, pull forward here. Put the car in park. Turn off the car again. Okay, if you want to check your oil, by the way, just hit this stop start button with your foot on the brake, and it's going to give you a read for about 3 seconds right here. You'll see it. See that right there? That's your oil level. You can check that any morning you want to. Let's go ahead and put our foot on the brake, start the car. Okay, if you notice, no check engine lights. It's perfectly normal. So that's how you do it, my friends. It's about a 10 or 15 minute procedure, but it's easy to do, and it'll give you a great insurance policy to make sure you never have a problem with your car, that's always 100% reliable like you paid for. Okay, well, here's my card again in case you need me. I appreciate it. Send me an email if you like, or you can check us out at bensonalfa.com or bensonfiat.com, and we're on Eastern time, so anyhow, I hope your Alfa experience is great wherever you are, and thank you for watching this video. Like I said, no matter if you have a brand new car or if you have a car that's 3 or 4 years old now, you need to make sure those battery posts are clean. They'll give you some false reads, false flags. You don't want that. So anyhow, have a great day. Talk to you soon. Ciao.